Thank you so much for sharing your Wednesday night with me. I am JB Bryan, the President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of AfroEconomics, a strategic financial management program designed for the advancement of Black wealth in America and abroad. It is time to talk about our next president. I almost showed bias, Maurice, because I said our new president. Then I had to like change and then like send it out again. I'm not supposed to be biased, right? so I said, oh, our next president. Y'all, we got the microphones on open. I want to talk about our Afro Economics Business Network, but I also want to talk about how you feel about the selection. Who do you see? I mean, to me, it seems obvious that Biden is going to win. Do you all feel that way too?
Yeah.
No.
You don't see it? He's only like I think he's like 4 points away. 4 points away. What's wrong? If you Google
I feel like it's going to be
or
a drastic. Well, uh, uh, 45 is going to.
six. Oh, you're afraid of what
Well,
what
he's
what
going
might
to.
happen? What
Yeah,
might happen?
he's going to hold it up anyway.
But look
I
at the
think that
but look at this, like he has 264, he only needs 270, and then you have Trump with 214. So he only needs 6 points to
I
make
think
it.
he's going to find a way to try to contest it. That's what I think in the end.
Well, he
I
Like,
don't
already
think he
yeah,
said
he will just settle for the fact that he's lost,
right.
fair and square.
no,
He's too
exactly. I
that's
don't
what I
think
think.
look, but being a person who's trying to become more and more of a true entrepreneur, I don't think that any of us should give in to anything. You know what I mean? Until every last vote is counted. If you telling everybody to go in and come out and vote, then every vote should be counted. Like Texas is said to be like Donald Trump got that, but only 85% of the votes are in. I don't even
Right.
think one of the states has like 100% in. This is
Right.
99% in Oklahoma. I mean, they're not close, but still, it's not too much to ask like that
Hmm.
do it. I was like shocked. Do you remember that year when Al Gore and they hadn't finished voting and Al Gore like called Bush? I think it was Bush and he said, "Oh, well, good luck, blah blah blah, fair and square." And then I guess somebody told him like, "Man, what have you done? That's too early." So I would like go on the side of don't concede to anything until you have to. So we can look at it that way. But I know um that what you're saying is like, isn't it, nicer? Isn't it nicer to just accept it? But from a business perspective, a deal isn't lost until the deal is lost. So, he's going to buy all of these, everybody's vote, 94%, 99%, 97%. Like, and what Biden should do is like, well, these states where they didn't finish counting, they should finish counting in all of them. Exactly. The like there was one like Virginia, they did 99%. 94% of the count is in for North Carolina, you know, and they're not calling it. 97% is in for Georgia, and they're not calling it, I guess, because they're saying it's so close. 88% is in for Pennsylvania, and they're not calling it, for Trump, I guess, because it really wouldn't make a difference. Because even if all three of these go for Trump, he's still not enough points for him to be at 270. So he'd have to get all of these. including Nevada. Um, because even if he gets Alaska, Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, he still won't be at 270. Did y'all think about it that way?
I
Yes, I
think
thought about it
that's
that way.
Yeah, I think that's what analysts are saying too. But then here's the other thing that threw me for a loop is when, and correct me, listeners, if I'm wrong, but
Well,
I
I'm
think
the
I
only one that
heard,
can correct. I'm just joking. Okay, I'm just
well, no, I'm just
I'm the
saying,
correct. I'm the corrector.
okay,
Okay, teacher.
well, correction, corrector. But
Correct me, corrector. uh,
I had heard that the votes that were coming in from our military, he had refused those votes as far as having those votes counted. Now, did you guys hear that, or did I just only hear that myself?
Yes, I heard that. I heard that
Okay.
same thing. But I was just listening to the Carl Nelson show, and this one guy got in on, and he was saying something about the electoral votes from each candidate. So he said this process isn't over until December or close to the inauguration date, because I guess these electoral votes, they can make the decision on who can. He just broke it down where it can go all the way to the Supreme
Hmm.
Court. You
yeah,
know, so he was just saying that, even though those votes count, you still need the backup of the electoral votes, and hopefully that will go through. But he said it could be a long, drawn out fight.
yeah. I
And I
see
think
this
that's,
article. I don't. I think that that is more of a rumor than true. Because like if you Google it, it says like, are Republicans really going to fight to throw out military ballots? So it hasn't really happened.
No,
But just the thought, like now we have like so many like rumors and stuff like that going around that is
right.
I think that Trump would want any vote he could get at this point. I don't I don't see
He
the
can get one.
I don't
Right.
see the benefit, you know what I'm saying, to throwing out
Hmm.
any votes, but that's you never know.
But is
But
there unrest in Virginia, or they were saying that National Guards are in DC? I don't know how true that is, but
yeah, like
um,
it
hmm,
everything seems cool, in Virginia from my perspective.
They
Somebody
bought
posted a picture, uh-huh,
they boarded up DC. A lot of places up there expecting something to go down.
in DC.
Yeah, there's
I
actually supposed to be 7 days of protest continuing for the next 6 days in DC. There's not very much unrest. There were a couple arrests for issues that happened last night.
Guess
let
you
me
just
not
gotta
be
wait to see what
unrested.
happens, when they announce who the president
Yeah.
is, you know.
It's so true. It's so true. I would be careful with those type of websites, Paula. I would stick with Google or something that was like a .gov, but not with this one that you put up there, a .com, because it's just news and advertising website. But like just strictly business as much as you can. Ms. Neville said they spoke on on that earlier about the electorates. Um, state, yeah, I'm really thankful for the internet because it really helps you get a better understanding of the electoral college and everything, and the different states and different points that each state gets. Because I don't think like just being able to go across the graph of the states, then seeing it like because you just watch it on the news, and then you're like, okay, this state, this state, this state. But when it comes down to this, even though the process has been slower, it's helped me increase my learning curve on what's going on through the process. But I do think that I don't think it's cool when they call states like that. I just think that it just should be, if you're telling everybody to go vote, then everybody's vote needs to be counted and then you finish it. Why can't we do 100% of something?
Gotta,
or
gotta
within
get
a
some to CNN, the news stations. It ain't gonna be exciting.
yeah, they gotta always call. They gotta always call. Like, it has to be. So, I definitely, I do think that a lot of time, a lot of things right now, we're just going to hear a lot of stuff, and so just continue to um, stay on basic data, government sites. If you're wondering really about a state, go to that state website, I guess. Do Ms. Ramadan, what is your question?
Should we still have the electoral college or should we just go with the popular vote?
What do you all think?
Well, I don't understand it for real, the electoral college, because
Hmm.
I know each state has them. You don't know who they are, um, and how to be one. So you're just thinking that everybody who's going to the poll, their vote is counting to get in. Really, it doesn't really have too much control if you go with the electoral college. So it's very confusing. I think you have to
I
study
think, yeah,
government to understand it.
and we shouldn't have to. It just should be, made more
Right.
aware, to us. Yeah, because I mean, I guess even though they say you could get the popular vote and not get, um, you could get the what electoral, you could win by electoral, like you could get 270 and then still not get the popular vote. That's
Right.
something that they need to work on.
Something like how Trump got in. Right. Somehow Trump got in. Hillary got something, and he got something else, but he
Yeah,
won. I don't
that
understand.
needs to be like that needs to be looked at, which he complained about, and it ended up working to his benefit. But he was like, how can how can we have a electoral college where a person? So what that means is some of the populations of the states have changed since they gave them the points. Like, why should a state always have the same number of points? Like, how long does
Right.
that last and how often do they change it? It'd be so easy that if, oh, okay, a lot of people in Nevada move to Hawaii, so Hawaii needs more points. I mean, you're doing a population test, or wherever, we're getting up to this year. So then some states could lose one, another state can gain one, but they're probably like, no state wants to change it. And that's sad because
hmm
that's how that's how you could, like Pennsylvania may not have enough, like 20 might not be enough points for that state.
Actually, it's changed every
Right.
10 years. That's
It's
how it happens.
it
Every 10
changes
years, it's
every
changed.
2 years.
Every ten years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's sad because we're way past that. Like, if I don't know, do they only do a census every 10 years?
Yes.
That's probably why it's connected
Yes.
to it.
Yes. It's
It
connected to
seems
it.
like the census comes around more often than that. That's amazing. And the census is huge. And they only do it every 10 years. And then, like, what do they do the rest of those 10 years? Like, that census office is huge in Maryland and DC. Mm. So, Ms. Neville, what were you saying? What were you saying? Oh, she's like, I can't talk.
No, I was saying that with the electoral votes, that the more a state has, the more likely it drives the campaign trail. Because that means if you have
True.
20 electoral votes in your state, they're going to come. They're coming to your state to campaign there because they want those votes. So the more votes the state has, the more likely those candidates are going to come and campaign there and spend money there and, drive up, all kinds of, whatever they
That's
drive
right.
there,
That's a good
fundraising and
point.
everything there.
That's
So they
always,
want it.
I never really thought about that. Like, why they, how they chose like certain states over certain states. Like, because they never really say that in the speech. I'm coming here because you got 20 points. It's like, but it seems, but it does work. Because when they visit, but it's, and we just have to realize, because almost everybody I know, was voting for Biden. Like, it must be random, but everyone close to me, is Biden.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know, like, so it was amazing to me that the race is this tight.
They
But that,
kept that close. It's like having that ace card. They kept that card close. They ain't tell everybody. They went in there and closed that curtain. They voted for Trump. That's what they did.
true. To be like, you think some of the people I know might have done that?
I know
Yeah.
some people I know have.
Really?
Let me tell you something. Some people voted for Trump because of religious value, because of what he's done when he went into Israel. And they happen to think that Trump did this because God chose him. For real?
No,
Mm,
he didn't.
For
mm,
real?
mm,
It
For
was just a
real?
move. It was just a move in his game.
No,
mm.
because the that church, what they call what you call that church, the
Scientology.
angelical, no, not Santa,
Mm,
no, you talk about, no, this church, angelical, something like that.
mm,
Trump went to them and Trump says, if you wash my hands and have your people to support me, I'll support you. They
mm,
wanted Trump to go to Israel. Trump knew nothing about Israel. And that's how that happened.
mm,
You're
Which is,
right, because he don't even know the books of the
mm,
he don't know
Bible.
anything about
mm,
Israel. Nothing.
mm,
And also Israel happened to
mm,
have a lot of natural resource with the oil, natural gas.
mm,
Now that's what
mm.
Trump is looking at, money.
Yeah.
He, I
And
don't know. I don't know if he's really that smart or he got some really smart people strategizing for him because
mm,
he makes sure he locks down every corner. He made sure he stacked them courts. So just for this time, he can know that he'd have them to back him. That's why he's so mad and wants to sue and get the Supreme Court involved because he
mm,
know he already stacked the court. So he's been covering his
mm,
bases all along while we're seeing all these crazy distractions of him tweeting and stuff. Behind the scenes, he's been like placing
mm.
markers and getting stuff done and locked down.
Well, the worst
Yeah.
thing we
Well,
can do, yeah.
the bottom line is that he has the Senate. So whatever he does, the Senate will back him up.
Mm,
Congress, we're not strong enough. So we need to get more people in the Senate. And then I heard the brother in, what was that, North Carolina, wherever is his name, Mitch McCollin, who's
mm,
the there was a brother who raised a lot of,
Yes,
was running against
yes.
him, and he raised a lot of money,
What
but
was
he ended
that?
up losing
Jamie.
for it.
Yeah, Jamie, somebody in South Carolina running against
Yeah, he
uh
lost.
he lost.
Yes,
yeah,
Yep.
he
he
lost.
lost
Wow.
against Lindsey Graham.
Colin won. So the Senate
Yep.
is still Republican. We
Mm,
we can't get that,
exactly.
even out.
But
And
also, Trump moved the embassy to Jerusalem.
yeah,
And
that's what she's
yeah,
talking about. That they see that as,
They see
I
that as a
mean,
religious
mm,
move.
but
Yes.
but God said, if you bless my holy city, I will bless you.
But
So he will,
Jerusalem really isn't a holy city. They've been terrorizing and doing things right. So
That's
you
right.
really have to look at the
That's
people.
right.
that
Is
has
this
nothing to
is
do
this
with
the
it
holy
biblically.
city in the Bible? But right now, that is not a holy city. If you go over there are
No.
more rich people and whatever. It's just almost like the United States.
but
Yep.
I'm sure that they see themselves as a holy city.
Yeah, I'm
It's
pretty I'm
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty
as they're
sure
yeah,
too.
constantly fighting the Palestinians and killing those people over
Yep.
there and saying it's in the name of God.
yeah. On both sides, they definitely see that they, think that it's, for God's sake. As do we. I mean, I've seen ministers and everything talk real ugly about Trump, and they really believe that it's for God's sake that they should say ugly stuff like that. And, I want us to be happy. I feel if Biden will make the black community happy, then I want the black community to have it. But I don't want us to be like them. Be like them. When I say them, I mean be like a people that are mean, or be like a people that talk negatively about anybody, even if they talk negatively about us. I want us to be stronger than that. Like, I want us to respond with, you can't stop us. I know
We
what my
just need
mission
some
is.
we just need some peace and stability in here. Cause I'm
Yes, we
tired of
do.
stressing every day because every day is something new. I mean,
Yes,
it's like, can we get a break?
yes. And our only break is in our freedom. And
Yeah.
that's why I feel like we depend way too much on the government. And that's why I'm doing that business network, because I do feel that as an entrepreneur, and that my basically, being that I started the business in my 20s, my entire career has been different than the overwhelming majority of my community and those that I serve. I can't imagine what you go through every day, and year after year after year, you go through it. And I believe that entrepreneurship gives us a freedom and a confidence that you don't get mad at people. As I was saying about the way I can view Trump, because I see that, hey, vote, count every vote, do whatever you guys do, die trying. I can respect that. That's a worthy opponent. That's what we want to see. Like, we don't need to see him, I want to see him die hard. I don't want to see him, fold. I don't need that. We don't need that as a people. We don't need that. We need, you a worthy opponent. We just were better. And then we need the person who's coming in to replace him, knowing all that we've done to get you there. What is on your agenda to make sure that you take care of increasing minimum wage, making affordable housing, making sure that we have the health care that we deserve? These are the reasons. This is what we asked for. Correcting the judicial system, stopping our people from being shot and killed and nobody getting arrested. If things, we have to be like confident that things are going to change, because we've done all this, fussed out all these people, called these people all these names. It can't be for nothing. It can't be for nothing.
Well, at least he's talking about it. That's the start. You
Who?
know,
Who?
Joe,
Oh, like, um, talking about it.
talking about, our health care, talking about what the police brutality, at least he's talking about it. No one else has talked about it. Think it's like, what, you need to get over it. I've heard so many white people say, you need to get over it. It's not like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Have you guys heard of Trump passed a presidential order? I forgot what number, executive order, stating pretty much that for racial equity and training, because that's a big thing. Everybody's focusing on racial equity. And if you're an agency and you're providing training on racial equity, you can't use any federal funds. So if you receive any grants or federal funds, you can't use any federal money to go towards those training, because you don't want to make some people feel uncomfortable, especially if the training makes them feel uncomfortable. And I'm thinking, well, race talks are going to be uncomfortable. So basically you're saying, oh,
Yeah.
not only can you not use federal money to make sure people get trained on this, but
Mhm.
don't make nobody feel uncomfortable.
I read it, and we do have to read it,
It's long too.
because
It's long.
there were some like crazy things going on. Like, when I read things like that, then I have to like think about it, like, if I were a white person, how would I feel if this was going down? And I know that it must be hard, but I also have to know that we're minorities in this camp. So the entire Constitution, the United States, that we live by, was not written with us in mind.
That's right.
So, like, we have to, accept that this is the reality that we're living in. And the reason that the prisons are full of Black men and women is not by accident.
That's right.
So, and we have, people that we're putting into power who have gotten a lot of money off putting us in prison,
Yep.
ruining our futures and separating our families. So you're right. But when I see that today, all it does is inspire me as an entrepreneur. But if you work in the government, it's got to be disappointing. It's
I'm
got to be
confused.
disappointing.
I'm sorry, but I'm confused. I need you to I'm analytical. Are you saying that if you have these programs in your workplace, you will not get money? You can't do this? I'm confused.
That
They're
I know.
saying you can't use federal funds to do it. So you need to find some state or local money or some philanthropists to donate money to do
But you
this.
have to like read exactly what they're
Hmm.
trying for you
Oh,
not to do. And I
Right.
can't like fully articulate, but what they're,
okay.
basically trying to get you is to not hate white people, because they feel like a lot of these programs are designed to talk about the problem of white people and what white people are doing wrong. So white people are going to work, they're getting depressed, they're being sad. I get it. I know it's a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot for them to deal with. And that's probably a lot of the reason why Trump, you know what I mean, that Biden didn't win by a landslide. Because it's like we've got like all of a sudden, they actually probably think that things are getting better for us and they're not,
And they're not.
because
Yeah.
you don't see that executive order being talked about on CNN and explained to black people about what this means and how white people feel about it, what I mean, and let us, actually see that they pushed it and they support it and they like it, and how many Democrats helped on it and support it, and how many Republicans like it and support it, that this is, you know, that we don't get that whole story. And while I'm saying is that is their system. That is the system. And the overwhelming majority of us are employed by some municipality or federal government to some extent. And what we can do about that, and you have something like that come out, and you don't have any black or the congressional black Congress, not have some sort of response that the programs are not designed to hurt, and they can be restructured, and they'll be restructured, to actually promote diversity and for learning and working together, but our organizations don't do what they're supposed to do. And that's
Yeah.
why I feel like, more of us need to be learning about entrepreneurship. See, the overwhelming majority of the white community doesn't depend on the government as an employer. They have corporate jobs, but the
Yep.
overwhelming majority of us are depending on the government, what I mean, to employ us. And we have to, start at least start having another generation or investing in our next generation of looking at owning their own businesses and being employed on their own. As I've told y'all about having a Asian chamber of commerce president, and he and I were on a panel together, and I said, why do Asians like start businesses all the time, and we don't? Like, why do you think your people like always start businesses? And he said, because in our country, the government doesn't hire everybody. He's like, in
Hmm.
this country, everybody can get a job from the government, so almost everybody, you know? So, I mean, they get it right out of college. You get a job with the government and stay with them for the rest of your life. But in other countries, you're gonna have to figure it out. You can be smart, as you want to be, but you're gonna have to figure out how you're going to create income.
Wow.
Yep.
And
But
that's
Okay.
you
why.
know, JB, I think during the I don't know when the government start becoming majority black, because at one time it was majority white, and I don't know if it was the late
Mm,
60s, early 70s when they start hiring black people to do jobs, and
mm,
and
mm,
and the benefit and the pay and everything was good, because we were still working in factories or whatever. So it was just like
mm,
people graduating from college at that time. Corporate wasn't
mhm,
too much like it was, I guess. I know in
mhm,
Pittsburgh, it was like the
mhm,
Mellon, the Fricks, and all
mhm,
those people.
mhm.
Golf was in
Yes.
charge, golf and all these companies had a lot of, pull as far as, and people were getting hired there, and government and banks. There was a lot of black managers, but then all of a sudden it just disappeared.
Yeah, and I think there was probably like some sort of that was during government mandate time. Remember we used to have
Yeah,
affirmative action things in it.
right,
I,
right,
I
right.
and I think that that is because I had a lot of clients about 20 years ago all retiring from corporate America,
Yep,
at the same time. And I was like, there was some sort of like, surge of hiring black people during that, which would have been probably like in the 70s, where they
mm-hmm,
started their careers.
yep,
So it's like, yeah. So then there was that push, and then all of a sudden, affirmative action stopped, but legacy continued.
right.
And I thought that was interesting, that if you think about it, there is so much more. Like people talk about affirmative action helping our community. Affirmative action doesn't even begin to compare to the benefits of legacy. Like especially in financial services. I remember when I started in financial services and there was other guys that were starting at the same time, and a lot of them had fathers that were brokers at the firm, uncles that were brokers at the firm. So as they were retiring, they were taking on their business. So it's like keeping that income flowing. That's legacy. And then,
Oh,
they think about, oh, affirmative action, is such a problem, but legacy is no problem. And we've never complained about that you give these job opportunities, especially in corporate America, to your family.
That's right.
Isn't it true? But we so that's where we start because we didn't have any legacy. We didn't have
yeah,
anybody bringing us in.
nepotism wasn't big in corporate because they didn't care. Like you said, they hired their sons, their daughters, their cousins,
Yeah.
everybody. But any type of local government or federal government or state government, oh, they frown upon that.
Yeah,
So
because I was about to say, because like, you can't tell me who I can hire. Like that when they were New York Times was talking about Trump paying his daughter a consulting fee. I was like, how in the world could they see that as a problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, at least he paid her. At least they count. Look, at least she paid taxes on it. It was like, that was nice. That at least we showed a trail of he had the expense and she had the income. Think about how many people who would have paid the daughter and wouldn't have counted it as income for the daughter. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's the way you're supposed to do business. The fact that we're not getting to do it is because of the discrimination, the discrimination that has stalked us for generations.
That's
You
right.
don't We don't have any administration yet that has done anything to help black businesses build businesses. Yet, and even after our veterans came back from like Vietnam, and they said, well, you know what? We're going to give them small business loans so that they can get these businesses started. They would learn to be a mechanic in Vietnam so they can start their own mechanic. They wouldn't even give it to them, wouldn't
They
even
went
tell them that the business loans were available. So when they
right.
ended up on the
That's
corner,
right. I was going to say that.
it's terrible. You know what I mean? That's
You know,
terrible.
JB, they don't even know that the funds was there available for them to even buy a home. Can you
No.
believe
Oh,
that?
exactly. And the VA loans for the home, and they, so they couldn't come back.
Yes.
They couldn't offer their family anything. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that movie Dead Presidents is like that. When the brother got back, and basically his girlfriend, the mother of his child, had become a prostitute, and the pimp, and he couldn't take care of her the way the pimp could, and he
Mm-hmm.
ends up losing his mind, and robbing a bank and all this. He don't even know that he could have, started a business and bought a house. All of these things are, but
Mm.
They could decide who they could talk to, who they wanted to share it with. And it was like a small percentage
That's right.
of Black
And
veterans that got
and
any of
that's
the money.
and that's how they use the small percent. And I always like the 5 people, and then they'll say, well, look, they did it. How come
Yep.
you can't do it?
Yep. When they chose, chose
Right.
selectively who they
And not
felt.
to mention during that time, all the redlining that was going on with housing.
Yes.
Right. Redlining. Yep.
They didn't even want you to live over there in that neighborhood where you could
Mhm.
have gotten a loan for. It's not true. It's just that, but that impacts us today. And that's
Right.
why we have to hold whoever gets the position in Congress and in the Senate and in the White House, we have to hold them accountable. And God
Hmm.
is preparing us because we're getting more intelligent and we have to, put a note, a sticky note with our vote. Like, hey, don't forget,
You're
hey,
right, JB, because I know with some of these congressmen and things like that, I've started looking at their votes, how many votes they did, which way they voted, and
mm,
how many times they just abstained from voting. I'm like, you don't have the right to abstain from a vote because you're supposed to
amen,
vote the thoughts of your constituents. So why are
amen,
you missing so many votes? So
amen.
I mean, hold them accountable for that
Yep.
stuff.
One time
That's right.
the Richmond newspaper did this story that Black people never saw about a Black politician because it was in the newspaper, so you would have had to read it. That the a Black politician voted in by Black people, and that every time he made a vote, there were overwhelming majority were sided with the Republicans,
Yep.
and he wins every time he runs.
But
It's
we'll
sick.
get our people in, but won't hold them accountable. And I mean,
Yep.
I'm all for getting our people in, but I want you to do
That's
your
true.
job.
Yep.
That's the part, and you can't even speak
Yep.
to me. You can't speak. You
Hmm.
can't have anything for us, and that's why, I invent the programs that I do because like the business network that all you have to do is be a member and want to do something, want to prosper, want to move forward. The members that are paying are pulling forward the members in no excuse because that is the only way that our community is going to move forward. Those who can will help those who can't. I'm volunteering my time. Those who are members that are entrepreneur members, individual family members, and are helping so that the no excuse members can be in there for free. But if we don't do it for us, who's going to do it, y'all?
That's true.
So that we're gonna
Nobody.
have no excuse. If they go, well, I don't understand what branding is about. I can say, well, then you didn't come to the class that we have in our business network about branding. I don't understand technology and artificial intelligence and how that can help me in business. Well, then you didn't come to the class because you should have. I don't remember about business taxation. That's why I owe the government taxes because I don't know nothing about that. Well, you need to come to the business tax class.
Mhm.
You need to come to the business doubling your income class. You need to come to those business classes because 25 plus years ago, nothing like that was there to help me. And all I want to do is make sure that my time here on earth is not in vain. I want y'all, it's on November 6th, 13th is when it kicks off, 12 to 1:30.
Mhm.
No, and I want y'all to be all about it. I was going to limit it to 10, but we already have 20 people registered. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it open. And you know what? I don't even have to worry about it because unfortunately, one thing that you can depend on is only the strong survive,
That's true.
isn't it?
Yep.
And it shouldn't even be that way, y'all. But only the strong survive. Like when it comes to anything, even surviving in corporate America, you have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable as an entrepreneur or as a career professional. Y'all get that?
Yep.
Right? You have to become comfortable with being able to take feedback. This is what you could help you. This is what, like, sometimes I get like beat down because I've actually come up with an idea that could actually help you because it requires some sort of work out of you. That's not good. We
Yeah.
have to be comfortable with learning things that can improve us and then having the courage to pursue that new idea.
Hmm.
Because,
Well, I think
yes,
people watch too much television, and they want it
yes,
to happen that way.
yes,
It's just like, oh, well, he started his business last week and he got this Escalade and he
that's
lives in
so
this big
true.
house,
Woo!
and you don't know how many loans they took out to get all that stuff.
That's
They're
right.
in so much debt. But they
That's right.
watch that, and they listen to people, they
That's
think
right.
a lot of these NBA players or whoever it
That's
is
right.
that
That's
make
right.
this money, and when
That's
their
right.
career is over, they are busted broke, and they're only 40.
That's right. I hear you, Terry. Terry said it's tell lies vision. And it's a very good point. T- t-
That's right.
Tell them it's Howard. Very good point. Especially with entrepreneurship. Like, cause you know how you'll hear women say that again a lot. Like they'll go, he makes a lot of money. He has his own business. Like, and me as an entrepreneur, that like doesn't mean that he has a lot of money because he owns his own business. If he does, then he's doing something wrong. Like if he's
Right.
flexing his money like that and you're black, especially first generation, now it's different if you're second generation because you started with something. But
Mm-hmm.
first generation entrepreneurs, we're starting from the bottom.
Yeah.
So everything that we waste, we're hurting the next generation.
Right.
So I don't feel that when you're the founder, that's what makes it so powerful. You're the founder. But I don't think that founders have the opportunity to truly flex. You
That's
know,
right.
I thought it was amazing when I saw that James Brown actually had $100 million when he died. With all of the mistakes that man made,
Right.
all of the mistakes and the habits and the failed marriages and the children and you know what I mean and the heartbreaks and being an orphan basically.
Mm-hmm.
$100 million. So that just shows you, and that was because of his work ethic. He was comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right.
I mean, he just was like, just I'm gonna do this regardless. And I was thinking this morning because I've had like a sports injury at the same time as like feeling bad all week, like under the weather. That's why I was asking you, like, where did the term under the weather come from? But I still did not have it in me to just say I'm not gonna keep going. It was just that the show must go on. And then it reminded me, especially when I had the sports injury, like, because my shins were hurting so much that it was hard to like put my foot down on the ground. Like
Mm.
that is pain. That is
Yeah.
pain. Oh, that is pain. And I was like, and I thought to myself, do you know how many times LeBron James must have gone through this? Kobe Bryant must have gone through this. James Brown must have gone through this. You know how many splits and stuff he did? Like,
Mhm.
it's like I don't think that until you like really get into something and you become that it's not okay to be average. There was just one day in my life that I decided that I wasn't going to be average anymore. And like what we do when we decide, this is the way we have been taught, that when you decide that you're not going to be average, you go and you buy something extreme. That doesn't make you extraordinary. That just makes you broke. When you decide that you don't want to be average anymore, you start taking action steps like, I am going to put this foot down and walk and work all day, regardless of the pain that I may feel. That's
Mhm.
extraordinary. I am going to do whatever is necessary to get this done. You know what I mean? Because it is due by such and such a clock in the morning. You know what I mean? And you get it done. You know what I mean? That's deciding that you're going to be extraordinary. that you have this and it has to be ready. And that client wants you to have looked at that by this time, and they're coming up and it's coming up. And you better look at that before, and you have to get that ready. That's being accountable. That's the extreme. Not like pulling up to client's house and having the biggest and prettiest car they've ever seen.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't it true?
Yeah,
And they go,
that's true.
oh, my financial advisor, my financial advisor's got the biggest house in all the world. And it's like, yeah, he lives somewhere out in such and such and so and da da, and you're like excited about that, and you haven't heard from them in 20 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I don't even know where my money is. Oh, and I'm telling you, I have had people come to me with that. So I go, what do you mean you don't know where your money is? I don't know where it is.
That
$400,000.
escalate ain't.
400,000. Exactly. $400,000. So they got me calling
Yeah,
people.
he's driving it right now.
You know what I mean? So look, so they got me calling. So I call the number because he won't answer their number no more. So I call the number for the people. So I call the number and I go, hi, I'm here with Mr. and Mrs. So and so, and they said that you have $400,000 of their money. And he says, oh, I told them we're gonna get it to them. We're gonna get it to him. Those people never got their money back, but he did
I
go
know
to
they
jail.
didn't.
But
That's
he
right.
did he did go to jail. Mm, mm, mm.
Mm.
But they still never got the money back though. So the
Yeah.
jail time, he only got 7 years in jail.
Mm-hmm.
That's some good. Look, 7 years ain't bad if he still had the money you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
like,
what I was going to say. He got out of jail and used their
yeah,
money.
yeah. Isn't that something? So
Yeah.
sad. So don't undervalue yourself. That's the kind of stuff. See, in our AfroEconomics Business Network, we're going to talk about like increasing our confidence so that we don't undervalue our business, the opportunity for
Mm-hmm.
people to do business with us as business owners. They, you know, don't we're not going to avoid the pain or the discomfort or the challenges or the patience. We're not going to avoid that. We're going to see those things as good things that they're building us and they're helping us get through. No, I don't believe that loans are like the biggest, like most of our small business groups, all they talk about is getting financing and here's the financing and this and that. You know, it's simple. You have equity, they want it, they'll give you money. It's most people don't have it and don't feel comfortable using their home equity for a small business loan. You don't have to do it. We don't have to
Mm-hmm.
do it. If you want to know how to start business with hard work, then you get with me. That's what we're going to do. It's like, I'm not going to tell you about some set aside program, some loan, some fell from the sky, some silent partner. No, there's only God and me that started this company. And
Mm-hmm.
then realizing that we have to be prepared for rejection.
Right.
I deal with rejection all the time. Rejection is real for me. But I don't know, but somehow early in life, being the last child of four kids, I think that kind of helped me. you know, you're like, you're the kid that they go, get out the room, move your head. It's like every situation in life. Because I remember being in Girl Scouts, right, walking around the neighborhood selling calendars. And if they said, come back tomorrow, I will come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow, I come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow, I come back tomorrow. And that at that age in elementary school is when I realized that I have the gift. I have the gift. I can sell something. Isn't that something? In
Yeah.
elementary school, I was like, like, because there is a kid that would have been like, what? That lady keep telling me to come back. I ain't going back over there. I never felt like that. And I remember this one time, and this one really turned my world around. When this white lady kept telling me, come back, come back, come back. I finally came back like the fifth time. And she came to the door with a $5 bill. You know, I thought that was $100. I was skipping all the way home. She was a $5 bill for a dollar calendar. She said, "I'm giving you this because you kept coming back." It was on. It was on.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I
Exactly. Exactly. Would not. And I sold the most calendars. Anything we sell, I was selling the most. And I don't know. I hope my mom is listening right now, because I remember we used to go on Delaware State campus and be selling chicken sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? And she would like cook the chicken, and we
Mm.
put it on 2 pieces of bread.
The original chicken sandwich.
Those two,
I
and
love it.
look, and we would take it to the dorm room, and those kids will buy them sandwiches up.
I know they would.
Yes,
Yeah.
because all we
Yes.
had was noodles to eat in the dorm. Yeah, we
Yes,
love a chicken
yes,
sandwich.
yes. And look, and then she was better. My mom was better than me, because every time my daughter had a fundraiser, what I do, how much and how much we trying to sell it, I give her the money. I can't do it. I can't do it.
You,
And
you gave up your hustle.
look, right, and I'd be like, look, and then look, and then randomly give out the boxes of cookies to people that come in the office. Oh, here's some cookies. Here's some cookies. Look, so she might have sold the
I
most,
love it. I
but it
love it.
wasn't the hardcore way. And look, but that's why. Look, and I have to deal with the
Awesome.
consequences, right? I have to deal with the. And she's
Mhm.
not. But now she still does. Like, she still does have this desire. I should have let her get it out of her like back then, where she does want to do things like sell things or raise money for this or do something like that. So I'm gonna see what how that comes out. But it's real. It's real.
I
She's
I
just
guarantee you she's not the one to sell chicken sandwiches.
exactly. She look. I know, because she's gone too far. But I would, if you're true to the game, which I am, I would sell some chicken sandwiches today. I would sell anything. I just love people that much. If it's something that I know is good, and I love to see people smile. I love to see people happy. You know what I'm saying? That is easy. Like now, my work is much harder than that, but to have something that I love, doing trade shows and things like that now, because I it's just
I
because
do too.
it's such a simple transaction. You know what I'm saying? It's like like, yes it is. And now it's like so much deeper, and it's much more of a process. So we better take advantage of the good things in life when you can. But I thank God
Right.
for that chance. I thank God for a mother that was open to my entrepreneurship, because it couldn't have been easy. I was always doing something, always selling something, and always doing. I mean, she's like, bring one more thing in this house. I was running for this, running for that, my group for this. Oh, I was that kid. I was that kid. Yes. Well, I see Larry. Oh wow. I see Mr. Dixon in. I see Miss Douglas in. That's so good. I hope it was the business that inspired you all. Like, look, before y'all leave me, I wanted to just make sure you go to that events calendar, and then go to the 12th. I mean the 13th. It's a Friday. We do our, and I'm gonna share this with y'all. And on the Friday, the 13th at 12, in the Business Network, build your brand the first week, e-commerce and cybersecurity the second week, doubling your income. Even if you're not sure about what your business and what you want to do with it, you still should attend, because that's where you get the answers.
Hmm.
Doubling your income, all of this applies to you even in your government job or your corporate job. All of these things apply to us in building ourselves up. Understanding e-commerce and cybersecurity, doubling your income, tax attack, building business financial statements, maximizing technology, taking care of your health, the art of thinking big, the advantages of being dynamic, good debt versus bad debt, legislation, regulations in our businesses, laws that help versus laws that hurt. And the list is going to go on and on. Because I started, I just had 10. Now, the other day, I added the 11. So, and then this is for people who haven't joined, they can click there to join. If you're already a member, all you have to do is register. And as I have here, is for members only. Any questions about the ABN before you leave me?
Are you still going to have the 9 o'clock?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working all day regardless, right? I just couldn't think of the best day. And I think Friday is the best day. I would rather not have both of our meetings on that day, but they have totally different topics and totally different audience, kind of. I mean, some people will be in there 9 and at 12, but the members only is at 9 a.m. on Fridays, still stays. Do you, Paula said, do you get a certificate? Ha ha. You couldn't. No, it's not that kind of party. It's a network. This ain't no little certificate program.
Workshop. It's not a workshop.
You know what I'm saying? So exactly. Maybe I should take the workshop off and just go. It's a networking opportunity. And I really want us to get to know each other. Start doing like working on how we introduce ourselves, what your idea is, the how to express yourselves. I don't really, that what they call it, like the elevator speech, or how quickly you can say what you do. I don't really think that that is as necessary as much of you just learning more about the person who you're talking to, because um, if you learn more about me, when you introduce yourself, it should be different. Like if I meet you and I'm learn and I find out more about you through your sharing. That's why the key to actually selling is getting to know you, is listening. Even though when we think of a stereotype of a salesperson, we always think about them talking all the time. But the way I earn your business is by listening to what's important to you. So when we listen to me, and you're telling me if you just start off telling me about your business, you're at an advantage if you tell me how your business can help me because you've learned something about me. Oh, I can see it. Even if you clean floors and you walk into build the business, and you say hi. I, instead of saying I clean floors, say I really focus on the type of floor, laminate floors like this, and making sure that they're shining, they're always looking good. They that I, but it's about learning about the gift of that, about listening and addressing and taking care of that need. And that's how we build trust of one another. I also saw research that says a biggest challenge for our seniors, a growing challenge, is finding people that they trust in order to do business with. And I hope that our business network will help us develop a network of people that can help us. Like our members, I have a member that has a alarm company, and as I got to know him, I felt a sense of trust, and I used him to upgrade my alarm system. Fired the other company and got his company involved. And then but I was as we have this business network, we'll be able to get to know, just not just because you're a member of AfroEconomics, but I know Mr. Randolph. Mr. Randolph is, so and so, or you have a company and you need, a load taking somewhere. You go, oh yeah, wind transportation. Yeah, I see them in the meetings. They're members of AfroEconomics, and they can. I'm gonna call them and get a quote on that they can take this load over here. I need to get over to California. But we have, we're that's what's going to grow out of this. I see it, and we can make it happen. Any other
Maybe
questions?
So
next
you're saying that
question.
eventually we'll have a business directory for Afroeconomics.
That's
Oh, that's
right.
what I was going to ask you. Do you have a directory
That's
of
right.
your
That's right.
clients with their business?
That's what we will.
Okay.
Yeah. But I feel like because we have to be careful with that, we have to develop a code to go
But
with
if
it.
you're in business, you want it to be out there?
Yes. Yeah. No, I was saying we're going to have a code with our businesses that the businesses that are on this list are operate under this code of commitment, timeliness, honesty, blah, 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 da, 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 da. That's what we do.
Oh,
So that
that's
you,
great.
that a code of ethics. Yes.
That's
I got you.
great.
That's
I like
because,
that.
as I might not have shared, is that seniors are, needing things done, but they don't know who to trust in order to get these things done.
I get you. I
And
got
I
it.
get that question a lot. Like, who should I talk to about this? Who should I talk to about that? Like, I've had people and I've referred people to them and they didn't do right. And I had to never refer them to people again. I will cut, yeah, because my name is connected to that.
I was gonna say it's nothing like referring somebody and they don't do right and your name is on it.
Yep.
Man, that's
I
hard.
was I was telling somebody the other day, I had an event and a lawyer was on the panel. A lady at the event called the lawyer. The lawyer took on her child custody case, didn't show up to court, made some more mistakes, didn't file paperwork on time, and all this lady ended up losing custody of her kids because of a lady she met at my event. I cried so hard. Me and this lady cried. I felt horrible for her. The lady
Wow.
lost her. She that was on my event on the panel. She lost her law license and everything behind it too. But that was horrible.
Get out
She would have
behind.
never met her. Mm. And I had gone to high school with that person. You never know, right? Never know. Mm. So you don't, we need to have a code. And that's why I was saying, what can I learn from that is that we have a code that if you're on this list, you've made a commitment that, satisfaction guaranteed.
I get
That's basically could be it all.
I
Sa-
get
Satisfaction guaranteed. Not satisfied, you know what I mean? I will pay them back.
Yeah,
I
that
sent
should be a
somebody to
code called.
somebody,
That should be
yeah.
a code called excellence because you need to operate in excellence because our name is on the line.
That's
And let
right.
them know if you're part of this directory, it's not just your name, it's all of us who are involved in
That's
Afroeconomics.
so
So,
true.
yeah,
That's so
it makes us
true.
all look bad.
That's so true. So true. So true. Mm. So true. Yeah, I have no idea. You all have a wonderful week.
thank you.
Leo, please, please keep my mom in prayer. She's not feeling that well tonight.
Okay.
Leo, operate in excellence. That's right, Ms. Ramadan. The I know. I don't know. Like when you feel bad, you realize how good it feels to feel good. Just to be able to get up every day and just be like, oh, and do whatever you want to do and everything. It's such a blessing. It's a shame that sometimes we have to get real old in order to appreciate that. But don't let anybody steal your joy because I'm telling you, it is by God's grace that we are still here. Mm. So enjoy your life, enjoy your loved ones. You know, mm,
Mm.
enjoy. So I will see you all Friday morning for our members only meeting. If you have any questions, definitely give us a call and we'll get on the calendar. Be happy to offer you a complimentary consultation. Thank you to all of you for allowing me to serve you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miss Jones. Oh, that's so positive. I really do hope that my life can be used to inspire someone, that if something that I say, something that I do will make it easier for you, because the reason that Black businesses don't last that long is because it is very hard and very lonely, and you sacrifice a whole lot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be there for each other. You know, and it's so easy to fold, give in, and well, I can't do everything. Oh, I can't be, oh, I can't, nobody's expecting us to be 100 every day. Oh, but you do have to always do your best. We have to always do our best. And if you can do it for somebody else, because you can do it for your own self. Do your best.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you,
Thank you,
Jay.
sweetie. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Right.
night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
See you,
Night.
see you
Good
Good night.
night.
Friday.
Good night. Good night. She
Good
can't.
Good
night.
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 Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
I don't know how to.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Night. Good night. Good night.
Oh,
Did I
so
say
good.
that? Did I say that? Good night. That was me. No, that was